Welcome back to another Salt and Pauper video. My name's Chad. Today we got a brand new ban and restricted announcement for the Pauper format. Many of the initiative cards that have been popping up in recent builds since the Magic the Gathering Online Edition. Vicious Battle Rager, Aarakocra Sneak, Undercity Explorer, and Stirring Bard have all gotten banned in the Pauper format. Why these cards? Gavin Verhey has a Good Morning Magic video posted explaining the reasoning. Generally speaking, I agree with the rationale chosen. Basically, they determined that a 4-drop in a format with Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Rite of Flames is too consistent on turn 1, and they want to remove them from the format. Now, you might be noticing there are some cards missing here that also contain the initiative mechanic, and we'll get to those in a second. But for the moment, Vicious Battle Rager, Aarakocra Sneak, Undercity Explorer, and Stirring Bard are the ones that they have removed. This makes a lot of sense to me personally. Vicious Battle Rager and Aarakocra Sneak have seen an astronomical amount of play since their inclusion on MTGO, as well as in paper since the debut of Baldur's Gate. Paper play, while popular and powerful, didn't see the numbers that MTGO saw in play, so the problem wasn't really identified until it was added to the online format. But once that was done, it took over very quickly decks like Turbo Initiative, decks like Blue-Black Initiative, decks like Mono-Black Ponza Initiative. Every deck that was running black was running Dark Rituals and Vicious Battle Ragers, and some were even adding additionals for that Undercity Explorer, even out of the Turbo Shell, to secure early initiative banners and wrap up games very, very quickly. It created a very swingy board state where really you could commit your entire hand to landing initiative on turn 1, and if you could defend it for 1 or 2 turns, you were likely going to win the game. Big fan of these bans. I think they could have banned more. And we'll get to the rationale for some of the other initiative cards. But outside of the initiative cards, I feel like there are some other top decks that aren't really being addressed here. And we saw a fairly consistent top 3 to top 4 decks, that being Grixis Affinity, Mono Red Blitz. We saw some Turbo Fog, as well as lots of Blue X Fairy lists and Mono Blue Delver lists, with the addition of the new Tolarian Terror card from Dominaria United. I expect blue strategies to be even more popular. Grixis Affinity not having to compete with the speed of Turbo Initiative means that that door is a little more open for them again. But in general, this feels like it's going to return to the pre-initiative meta, void of pretty much any change outside of maybe Tolarian Terror and Kenku Artificer, which is another card that was added in this drop from Baldur's Gate that is not banned, but hasn't seen a ton of play yet. We'll see what the implications of that are after this week's challenge. The rest of the initiative cards, you may be wondering, well, what's going on with them? They have been cleared to stay in the format for now. Gavin Verhey was very clear in the Pauper format panel's position on these cards. They will reevaluate in a few weeks to take a look and see if things like Avenging Hunter, Goliath Paladin, Trailblazer's Torch are too powerful, if it's the initiative or if it was simply just the color. And lining up with turbo mana production like Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Rite of Flame, things like that were the culprits. I think I'm a fan of leaving the green initiative card as a payoff towards the Rug Ponza list that we'd seen popping up recently. I don't see a ton of other play for Avenging Hunter. I see even less play for Goliath Paladin, if any play. The one that I think is going to be promising here is going to be Trailblazer's Torch. Flickertron got new life in the form of Meteorite from Dominaria United as a new downshift. And this is going to be another really powerful artifact to flicker. You'll notice it doesn't actually have to be equipped for you to take the initiative. So the fact that you can combine this with Ghostly Flicker to flicker the artifact a bunch of times can create a very powerful board state for Flickertron. And I do think it has some life in that option. Other than that, I don't expect to see a ton of Goliath Paladins, but we'll see. Perhaps the format just makes it work and forces more action from the PFP. That's really just going to be up to how the format develops. I don't expect it to be a problem personally. Moving on from those, what do you expect to take over? What are we hoping to see this weekend in the Pauper Challenge, for instance? What do you want to play? Well, personally, I think that the big winners for this are going to be the big three: Grixis, Affinity, Red Blitz, and Turbofog. Now, Turbofog's a little bit of a hot take. It's a little bit of a pet pick of mine. The deck could not deal with initiative, and now it doesn't have to. I think it's going to be in a really good position, and I expect it to do very well in the coming weeks. Grixis Affinity, we know the deck. Everybody knows the deck. It's not going anywhere. It wasn't really nothing was taken away from it here. I expect it to do well in these coming challenges, and we will see affinity numbers. This is really where the Kenku Artificer is going to shine. If it's going to have a spot in this meta, it's going to be in the Grixis Affinity list, and I'm excited to see what people have to do with it. That being said, bust out your Agony Warps. Man, Agony Warp is going to be such an important card in this metagame. It deals with your Guardian of the Guild Pacts. It deals with your Kenku Artificer animated lands. Defile is also going to be a really good pick into Kenku Artificer. That negative is really going to come in clutch. So I think that Agony Warp is definitely going to drive decks to play a few copies in the main board, especially the blue-black Turbo Delve Tolarian Terror list that we're seeing, that run things like Thought Scour to really fuel their graveyard quite quickly, and then power out these big 5/5s for 1 or 2 mana very soon. Interesting lists, and I look forward to see how they put up numbers in the challenge this weekend. Mono Red Blitz, obviously, now that it doesn't have to worry about so many snuff outs, deck will clearly see a resurgence. It never really left, but it definitely wasn't the all-powerful deck that it had been in the previous weeks. So this deck will definitely see a resurgence. Outside of these three decks, decks to see, decks that I suspect will continue to play well. We saw a Boros synthesizer list. Obviously, that deck was really, really powerful. It drew a lot of cards, but it was a little bit slow. It played a lot of cheap evasionally threats. It played a lot of Galv Blasts, a lot of Lightning Bolts, and a lot of card advantage, but it couldn't really deal with a powerful early initiative starter. Backed up with Land Disruption or a couple of choice removal spells, really just sealed the deal in those first couple of turns. For a deck that wants to play tap land after tap land into a couple of card advantage engines and go long, the Boros deck will definitely play a little bit better this weekend into this current metagame. Other than that, let me know what you guys are excited to play now that the initiative is largely out of the format and out of contention. Are there any exciting new initiative brews that you're working on with the green or white one? Are you excited to see some initiative coming out of Tron? Maybe you're a big Tron player and excited that that deck's coming back to life. So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see you guys' opinions here. I think that while they could have been more, obviously people are crying out for Affinity Bridge lands to be banned. They're crying out for Deadly Disputes to be banned. Cards that have been pretty much ubiquitous in the format since they were first released. I think that this is definitely a safe play. The PFP have pretty consistently demonstrated that they would rather take the safe play than the aggressive play. And in something like the Arbiter of a format, I think that's probably the correct approach to take. I know that's going to get some hate on Twitter, but that's my opinion. hopefully this explained the decisions and gave you guys a good idea of what to play this weekend and what to be excited about going forward. I will see you guys in the next video. As usual, if you like the content, please subscribe. It really does help brand new channels like this one. Don't forget to like the video and throw me a comment for the algorithm in the bottom. I will see you guys in the next one. Happy playing.